Hello students, today we are going to learn the chapter number 4, Banking and Monetary Policy of the subject Economics Standard 12 Commerce. Okay, in our last two videos, we have discussed plenty things about the banking as well as money. So here, banking, we know that banking is necessary in this era, and banking is also helpful for the economic reform. And again, bank is also monetary policy is also called stabilization policy, so that the money of the currency of the country can be stabilized. So here in last two videos we have learned about bank, meaning of bank, types of bank. Again we have learned about the commercial bank, function of commercial bank. Then in the last video we have learned scheduled bank as well as central bank. The Central Bank of India is also called RBI, and the function of RBI also we have learned in our last two videos, and that two videos are already linked in the description. In this video we are going to try to understand monetary policy. Monetary policy means that policy that the government is using in case of too much inflation as well as in the case of too much deflation to make the stabilization in the country. So that we are going to learn now. Monetary policy. Monetary policy means the policy that can control the money. That means demand of money as well as supply of money is going to be watched by the RBI through monetary policy, so that the value of money cannot be decreased. Here RBI is seeing that the value of the money can be stabilized in the economy, so that if the supply of money is more in the market, so more money is going to chase few goods, so it is going to be inflation in the market. And the other situation where the money is less in the market and goods is more in the market, so in that situation there will be a depression in the market. So the value of the money should be maintained so that the inflation deflation can't be there in the economy, and that is done through the monetary policy. So the value of the money is going to be stabilized due to the monetary policy. That's why it is also called stabilizer policy. So here the monetary policy means the policy which entrusts the various tools of regulating supply of money. So here through various tools, RBI is trying to see the supply of money, try to maintain the supply of money in the hand of Apex Bank. As we know, the Apex Bank is a RBI in India with the purpose of achieving general economic objective. So here economic objective should be there. So economy must be stable. In Indian economy, to make it stable, the RBI is watching the supply of money as well as demand of money, and that is called monetary policy. So this is the definition of monetary policy. The policy which entrusts various tools of regulating supply of money in the hand of the Apex Bank with the purpose of achieving general economic objective is called monetary policy. So this is the monetary policy which is helping government to make the stabilization in the economy. And let's see the various tools of the monetary policy. These tools are helping government and RBI to stabilize economy. So that tools we are going to see next. Before that, you may note down this. Instrument of monetary policy. Instrument of monetary policy means the instrument with the help of that monetary policy can be formed, so that the value of the money can be maintained in the economy. So in that, mainly there are two instruments of monetary policy. Very first is a quantitative measure and the second one is a qualitative measure. Quantitative measure is also called general measures, and qualitative measures borrowed money from RBI for long period of time, and for that whatever the rate is there for the exchange, that is called bank rate. So here you can see that bank rate, how it is useful as a monetary policy. So here students try to understand when there is a commercial bank is borrowing money from the RBI, if the bank rate is higher, so commercial bank takes lesser loan from the RBI, and that lesser loan will approved to people less. So people will be taking lesser loan from the commercial bank, and lesser money will be moving in the market. So here, if the bank rate is higher, then the commercial bank will borrow less money from the RBI, and again the commercial bank will be providing loan to the people at higher rate. So people will be taking lesser loan. So money in the market will be lesser. So with the less money, inflation can be controlled. So for the control of the inflation, RBI can make bank rate high. So with the higher bank rate, less money will be going in the market, and inflation can be controlled. And the same, vice versa will be in the situation of the depression. If there is a depression in the market, in that situation, what RBI will be doing? RBI will be giving to the commercial bank the money at a lower rate. So with the lower rate, commercial bank will be taking more money, and that more money will be given as a loan and advances to the people at a lower rate. So the money will be there in the market, more money will be circulating in the market, so that the depression can be come out. So from the economy can be come out from the depression situation. So here bank rate will be useful as a monetary policy. So here the bank rate was in 83 it was 5.3%, and after bank rate was in 1953 it was 5.3%, which was increased 10% to 1981, and which was again increased in 1991 to 12%, and which was decreased in 2016 to 7%. So that was the bank rate. So RBI can exchange, can make the difference, can change the bank rate according to the situation of the market. The way situation is there in the market, the RBI can change the bank rate. But here, see, bank rate is for the long period of time. So what is happening if the RBI wants to control the inflation situation? It cannot control in a very short period of time, because the bank rate is for long period security. So RBI has taken the another measures as a quantitative measure for the control of inflation, that is the repo rate and reverse repo rate. So repo rate means it is for short period of time. So commercial bank, when there is a need of money for short period of time means for the 1 day, for the 7 day, or for the 15 days. For that short period of time, if commercial bank need money, they can give the security, government security to the RBI, and with the condition to repurchase it. So to repurchase it, that's why it is called repo rate. To repurchase the government security, whatever the loan is taken from the RBI, it is called repo rate. So here repo rate is for short period of time. So RBI can control the inflation in a short period of time, and that's why it is called repo rate. And the reverse repo rate means when the RBI is taking money from the commercial bank with the same security and for short period of time, it is called reverse repo rate. So here what is happening in repo rate and reverse repo rate? See, if the repo rate is higher, the lesser money in the market, because if the repo rate is higher, bank can take lesser loan from the RBI, and bank is also going to give people at higher rate very less amount. So in the case of repo rate, if the repo rate is higher, the money supply in the money will be less, and if the repo rate is lower, the money supply of in the market will be more. And in the case of reverse repo rate, what is happening that if RBI can see that there is plenty money with the commercial bank, that can take the money from the commercial bank and it is called reverse repo rate, and in that situation RBI can take the money. If money is taken by the RBI at higher rate, commercial bank will be given more money to RBI and the money will be lesser in the market. So if the reverse repo rate is higher, then the supply of money will be less in the market, and if the reverse repo rate is lower, more money will be there in the market. So this is how the supply of money can be controlled by RBI with the help of repo rate and reverse repo rate. So repo rate in 2006 was 6.5 and reverse repo rate was 5.5, which was in 2016 6.6 and the reverse repo rate was 6%. So this is the repo rate and reverse repo rate. And the third measure of RBI is stabilization under emergency situation. So here there is a special window which is helping banks in case of emergency. So here in the case of emergency, bank can take money from the RBI in the special cases. So that is called stabilization under emergency situation. The next function is a cash reserve ratio, that is also called CRR. CRR means all the banks have to keep a special amount of cash with the RBI, and it will be helpful to the banks in case of emergency. That means if many people come to withdraw the money, the bank can pay that money from the CRR. So it was 5% of demand deposit and 2% was of the time deposit. It was decided before, and that was changing time to time by the RBI. It can be from 3% to 15% according to the situation and according to RBI guideline. So according to that, all the banks have to keep that amount of cash with the RBI, so that in the case of emergency that can be helpful. That is again helpful in case of inflation and deflation. If RBI don't want to give money more to the market, RBI can increase this CRR. So if the CRR is increased, that means less money will be going to the market and less money will help to control the inflation. If CRR is more, then the deflation can be controlled. So here the CRR is also worked in case of inflation and deflation. The next is a statutory liquid ratio. So here apart from CRR, bank also have to keep 25% of the security as a statutory liquidity ratio in case of cash, jewelry or anything else. So here statutory liquidity ratio means apart from the CRR, 25% has to keep aside so that it can be helpful in an emergency situation. So same way, if the statutory liquidity ratio is more, the less amount will be going in the market. So lesser amount will be in the market, so it can control the inflation. And if the statutory liquid ratio is lower, in that situation there will be more money in the market and more money will help to come out from the deflation. So that is statutory liquidity ratio. The next one is a open market operation. So sometimes government can take the government security. Government can buy the government security from the market. If government buy the security from the market, the more money will be in the market. And if the government can sell the security, then the money will be lesser in the market. So that is also helpful in controlling inflation and deflation situation. The next will be from the market so that the value of the currency can be maintained. So here excessive foreign exchange can be taken by the RBI to control the value of the money. So these are the quantitative measures of the monetary policy that can be taken by the RBI. Now let's see the non-monetary, that is qualitative measure of the monetary policy. In that very first is a security requirement. See, here all the banks are giving a loan to the people. That can be a loan, can be a personal loan or it can be a business loan. So here the security is required by all the banks. So if the bank loan is not repaid by the customer, the security can be sold and bank can get the money. So here the security requirement from loan to loan and sector to sector is different. Let's say agriculture, in the sector of agriculture there can be a no security, as we know that farmers don't have many things like farmer sometimes it may not have house or it may not have anything else, jewelry or anything to give as a security. So from farmer it can be lesser amount of security and it can be more from the business people. So business people can give his shop as a security, but it cannot be, the loan security cannot be taken from the student. If the bank is giving education loan, from the student security cannot be taken. So it can be differ from the loan to loan. So that is the security requirement. The next is a marginal requirement. So here margin will be differ from people to people and it is again depend upon the situation or depend upon the area and sector of the loan. So that is again the marginal requirement. The third one is a ceiling on credit. So the credit can be how much, the maximum credit will be how much, that is again decided by the RBI as a qualitative measure of the monetary policy. So ceiling means maximum amount of credit will be how much, that is again varied from situation to situation and loan to loan, and that is again decided by the RBI. The last one is a discriminatory interest rate. As we know that the interest rate of different loan is a different. Let's say if it is an education loan, the rate of interest is a lower. If the loan is for the business purpose, the rate of the loan is a differ. If it is for personal loan, for let's say for the housing loan, that the rate is different. That we know very nicely. So that is also decided by RBI as a qualitative measure of the policy, and it is because of the general welfare of the people, and that is the qualitative measure of the RBI. So this is the monetary instrument of monetary policy that is followed by the RBI to control the supply and demand of the money in the economy, so that stabilization can be there in the economy and there will be a value of the money will be maintained